tips and tricks for flipping property for profit. So when we start, firstly, we should be looking at property that is going to have a substantial amount of profit in it. Sometimes people talk about there's a property that needs renovation and we think, fantastic, that's a great project. It may be a great project, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's profit in that particular project. So we have to think about, firstly, when we see something that may have potential, what is it that we want to do to it? Oh, we want to fit a new kitchen, new bathroom, we want to put an extension on it, and who we're trying to create it for, and what is going to be the value of that new creation. So for example, if we do a renovation extension, what is that property going to be worth? Once we've established that end figure, then we work out how much is it going to cost to take this property as it is now to what we want it to look like. And there'll be a certain figure for that. And then when we take the end value, we take that figure off, we need to now also consider we want a margin, a profit, as I said earlier on, for doing this. And that profit should be a healthy profit. Now, it'll be different for everybody. It'll be subjective. Some people work on a percentage of the overall numbers. Some people say it needs to be a certain amount of money per project. That's subjective, so you'll choose what that number is. But that number needs to come next. The one thing I would say is, why are you doing all this hard work if you're earning pennies? That needs to be a healthy profit margin. And then the number that's left is what you can afford to pay for the property in order for this to work. So for example, let's say that works out to be, say, £90,000 is left and the property asking price is 120. Well, you need to get it to 90,000 in order to get it to work. Because if you are not going to compromise on what you want to try and create and the end value you're trying to achieve, the only compromise left is if you pay more is your profit shrinks. And that's not what necessarily we want to achieve. So the first thing is understanding the numbers, what we're trying to create. Secondly, it's who we're trying to create this for, because there's different people in the market that will be looking for a different type of product. And when I say product, is what that property will actually look like. So for example, is it an entry-level budget type of property that you're creating? Is it something fairly mid-market for a family? Is it a premium executive style of home that you're trying to create? And then accordingly, you need to ensure that the layout, the design, even the location is in the right place to attract that type of buyer for them to buy the property from you. Once we've got the property ready and to take to market, the thing that I always do is make sure that I've got local estate agents who really understand the market to come and have a look at the property, come and talk to me about what they think they could achieve for that. If there's anything else that we maybe missed that we should be doing that will help attract and appeal to that market. And I listen to the opinions of the agent, but what I never do is get one agent in and just listen to what they've got to say. I listen to lots of different agents. I try and understand their viewpoint of who they think this property is going to work for. And I also try and understand, do they really understand this market, or they've just read some particulars and they've just come out to speak to me? Because those that are local and really understand the market, they will tell you, look, this side of the street works really well for this reason, because it's in a certain school catchment area, for example, or, you know, we've sold 3 in this area, or within this area, 5 have sold for this particular price. There's a number of people that are really keen to get into here before, you know, a certain time period. For example, let's say school start in September, before the school start. So there could be many reasons that we're not necessarily thinking about that the estate agent can help us understand. And so then that way we can pick who we think will perform the best for us in terms of taking that property to the market. And it isn't necessarily the one who's going to be the cheapest or the most expensive. Is who has the right drive, hunger, and access into that the database of people that would potentially want to buy. And then when we do list, then we want to try and have like an open day where we get several people coming at the first time, because you get one chance of making a first impression, and we want to make the best first impression. We want a buying frenzy happening. We want a lot of people interested in that property, so you get the best possible offers, and literally within a few days of going to market, the property is sold.